the very first Guardian Games is here, and one of the things that you want to get quickly is Laurels. So I wanted to talk about some of the best ways to farm that if you're a solo player or if you have a team. The one thing I want to ask you guys really quick though is comment down below which class you're going with. Right now I'm on the Titan, and it's not going too well here for my Crayon brethren, but that's okay, we still have plenty of time. Now, Laurels were important for a number of reasons. You need these to get a lot of the triumphs done, and also too, if you're working towards the exotic ghost shells, you do need to have Laurels in addition to that. Now, each and every single week they will change, so I'll try to make a follow-up video to this. This week you get it by getting super kills, grenade kills, and charged melees. And you can see here that you do need quite a bit of these each and every single week. Now, if you have Laurels made from your own class, they're worth 3 points, whereas if you're with a team and they're on a different subclass than you are, they are worth 1 point. So it does benefit you to run with a full fire team of the same class, so that way you're always getting 3 points. But you can also get a lot of these really fast too if you're a solo player, and I'm going to focus on some of those things you can do if you are playing by yourself. Now, in addition to this, make sure you always grab a bunch of your bounties. You do need to have a lot of bounties here because there's a number of triumphs associated with bounties, and it's always good to maximize your efficiency. Make sure that you have a Titan mark or whatever your class item is, and you need these to generate Laurels at all. So make sure you have one of these. If you're not generating any Laurels, it's because you don't have the subclass item equipped. So again, just to refresh here, we're going to focus on the ways you can farm Laurels if you're a solo player or a fire team player. I want to talk about why this is important. You really want to have these because you need a lot of Laurels to get some of these triumphs done, especially if you're going for some of the cool things like the new exotic, or if you're just trying to get some of these cool emblems. A lot of these triumphs are associated with getting Laurels. So let's jump right into it. The very first thing we're going to talk about is the Heroic Whisper of the Worm, and that has an area where you can farm Laurels like crazy. So let's jump right into it, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, so if you're a solo player, the Whisper Heroic mission might be one of the best locations to farm Laurels, more specifically the green room where I am right now. Now, if you're not familiar, Whisper Heroic is unlocked by beating the normal Whisper, and you can find that here directly on the map in Io. Once you go into this mission, you want to make your way through the jumping puzzle until you get to this room right here. If you notice, there is a crack in the floor, and down there is where we're going to farm Laurels like crazy. Now, like I mentioned, this week to get Laurels, you have to get grenade kills, super kills, or charged melees. And for that reason, I'm going to switch up my gear here just a little bit. I'm going to throw on the Skull Fort. So the key thing here is you want to make sure that you're using exotic armor that does either give you an extra grenade or helps you get your melee back or helps you have a longer super, because that's how you're going to be generating most of these things. Now, if you're lucky enough to have some good mods like Taken Repurposing, Taken Armaments, Fallen Repurposing, you can use that to your advantage as well, depending on the activity that you're doing. So let's jump right in here. I'm going to go ahead and try to get some Laurels really quick, but this is where solo players can go to easily farm this type of material. So I'm going to run over here. I think your best bet, honestly, is just to go back in the corner here, and all these cursed thralls will keep spawning over and over again, and they will charge you indefinitely. And I'm pretty much easily getting the Laurels done. I'm easily getting the bounties done. This is a place where you can farm both these things. So you need Laurels to get some triumphs done. You need bounties to get some medals done. This is going to be one of the best ways for solo players to jump right in here, get bounties done, get a bunch of Laurels, and make progress. So keep that in mind. I know a lot of these triumphs that you have to get done are pretty grindy, and this may not be the most exciting way, but it'll certainly be among the fastest ways of getting Laurels, getting medals, and getting triumphs. Again, this is the Whisper Heroic mission. To do this, you have to beat the normal version. I imagine most people watching this have, but once you do, that unlocks the Heroic version. You want to make your way through the jumping puzzle. You can get down here with plenty of time, and these enemies just keep spawning over and over again. Feel free to switch your subclass if you want. If you're working towards mainly arc bounties, stay on that. If you're working towards void or solar, you can always do those too. This would be a nice way of multitasking and getting a lot of different stuff done at once. If you're on your hunter, I would recommend probably going with the Void Tether. That's going to be a nice way of getting a lot of enemy kills really quickly. And if you have Orpheus rigs, you'll get your super back pretty fast. If you're on the Warlock, I would probably focus on being Nova as well, or being Void as well with Nova Bomb. So this is one of the best locations in my opinion, especially if you're playing by yourself. But there are some options too if you have a fire team, provided that you're all running the same subclass. One of those that comes to mind is Altar of Sorrows. So let's take a look at that and see why that can be such a good option for getting this material. Okay, so I mentioned Altar of Sorrows, and you can find that activity over here in the Moon. This is located in Sorrows Harbor, and as you can see, there is no shortage of enemies here. I jumped into an instance, and right away, this team was at the final encounter. So this is going to be something you can do. I know it's a bit more chaotic than would be playing Whisper of the Worm by yourself, but it also too is fun because you'll likely run into a lot of players here. If you are with a fire team, you guys can jump in here and easily take care of business. This will be a great way of getting laurels, for getting medals and bounties done, and also too if you're trying to farm some of these weapons, you're kind of multitasking there as well. So I always think it's important to, no matter what you're doing, if you're farming something, try to get multiple things done at once. In this case, I'm getting my laurels. I'm also going to hopefully get a cool weapon here from the final chest, and it's going to be a good way for me to get a lot of things done at once. I would recommend having the same type of strategy. So in this case here, I'm on my Titan. I'm still going to use a skull for it. If I was using my Void Titan, going for those medals and bounties, I would probably switch over to Doomfangs. But just keep that in mind. You can always switch up your armor to make sure that you're getting back your melee, your super, and your grenades. If I was rocking my Warlock or my Hunter, I would likely switch to Void and have the Skull of Dire Hamkara on my Warlock. And on my Hunter, I'd probably stay on the Orpheus rigs just to be able to tether enemies and get multiple grenade kills at once. So we might as well finish this thing out and see what we get from the chest. But Altar of Sorrows, no doubt about it, will be one of the better ways to take out a bunch of enemies at once and get tons of laurels here. Especially, you can imagine if I was with a fire team and we were all Titans right now, we'd be taking care of business like no other. So let's go ahead here. We're going to take out Tanix. I think he's almost down. He's defeated. Let's find out what we get from the chest. I want to cover one more area, and the area we're going to focus on next is the Last Wish raid and the Shuro Chi encounter. But first, we'll grab this, and I got the Apostate, guys. I had not had that sniper yet, so I am so glad that I ran into this team. That's pretty sweet. Let's jump over to Last Wish raid, and we'll cover one more area where you can farm repeatedly and get laurels very quickly. That is Shuro Chi. That is the Last Wish raid. We'll jump over to it right now. Okay, so last but certainly not least, we have arguably the best way of farming laurels, and that is via the Last Wish raid and the Shuro Chi encounter. You can use the wish wall to wish yourself directly to this encounter, and the great part about this is there's a rally flag right here. So you can throw down a banner, you can rally to the flag and have full super, full grenade, full melee. And again, you need those things to make laurels this week. And you can use this method either by yourself or with a fire team. If you do it with a fire team, it's nice because you can alternate using the flag. Just make sure that everybody is using the same subclass so that you fully maximize how many laurels that you get. Once you start this encounter, you'll see why it's so effective, because a bunch of cursed thralls spawn in here right away. I would recommend just jumping right in, use your super right away, and take care of business. You don't have to be super cute here. Just use your super, collect all these laurels. You can go ahead and throw some grenades if you want, but I think just for the sake of being quick, you're probably better off just using your super and then wiping right away. Because you're right at the checkpoint anyway, you can just use another rally banner and keep doing the same encounter over and over again. But no doubt about it, this will be one of the absolute best ways to get laurels. Honestly, it might be the very best, so you can always mix it up. Do Whisper, do Altar of Sorrows, use this checkpoint, and you can always come back here at any point during the week and farm this over and over again. So those are the three, in my opinion, the three best ways of getting laurels: Whisper Heroic, Altar of Sorrow, and the Last Wish raid, Shuro Chi checkpoint. I hope this video was helpful, guys. If it was, leave a like, leave a sub, all that good stuff. Anyways, best of luck this week. Good luck in the Guardian games, and may whatever subclass you chose prevail. See you guys.